back in open session. The first item on the open agenda is the consent agenda, the minutes from July 21st, 2026, and the accounts payable and payroll warrants. Jen, that's just a couple, just on the first page, there's just two minor edits, just typos. So I move to approve the consent agenda with the two edits.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, Ron?
Yes.
Ray?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
And I'm yes. So under Board of Selectmen discussion and decision items, there's several that pertain to the DPW, so we'll just put them all together. Starting with the fire station.
So you got the updated quote on the additional testing they want to do. I contacted Jay Phelps from Bill Engineering to see why that was an additional test that needed to be done. So the first test they did, the drilling, was it was based off of the soil maps that they received. There was not supposed to be clay there. And by the report, you can see that they hit clay rather early. Clay is tested in a different manner, so that's where the additional 6,000 comes in. So the original test was just a drill to see what soils were down there and the load-bearing capacity of those soils. And all that does is it uses blow counts per foot to see the compaction of
Any,
I find it unusual that they, knowing Hill Engineering, knowing what we were looking for, that they didn't have them take samples of solid. That's what they had to take, a core,
core.
not
correct.
not a
They,
not a
from
not a
what-
drilled core, drilled material, but they go down and grab a plug
right,
of material that hasn't been disturbed. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Instead of having it drilled up. Because they did take samples,
yes.
yeah.
We're still waiting on those. But like I said, this is they want to take a total of 2, I think, 4. Yeah, 2 undisturbed samples.
Undisturbed, yeah, core.
did they give it any, just based on their preliminary findings, did they give any sense of where that could lead us in terms of what we need to do?
Jade does not have that yet. He's the mechanical, and then the Josh Turner Consulting is the geotechnical, so he doesn't have that report yet as far as findings they have. I don't know, I don't, do we need to do this,
I would talk with Hill, I mean, Hill's gotta design a footing or something, or put a pile in there,
right.
you know, to support the load that they calculate for the building.
So he was questioning the technicals, where the engineering for the technicals, and I cannot find it anywhere. Because if that was done correctly,
Yeah.
there should have been core drills. There should have been undisturbed cores taken from that project. But I don't.
Yeah, I don't know, technically, they go by resistance on that, when they're putting down.
Yeah.
They go by
usually
pressure on
with
their
a building.
hydraulics.
With a building.
Yeah.
If an engineer would do the cores first and then determine what size auger and everything would be needed to sustain that weight. But I don't know how that whole thing, I wasn't around,
You know,
I wasn't even on the department then.
I would have bet that they didn't go down there's no way to get under the footing when Technipost does it. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they put a post down and just clipped it to the
Flipped
footing.
it to the side.
Yeah, like, you know, some lags.
And it probably moves with it.
And
Oh, yeah.
if we were to dig down and find, I mean, it wouldn't be hard to go down and look, dig down and find where they are. But it could have been just a quick fix, knowing they got some bearing on their post, but not knowing what the load of that corner of the building is. And it might even be beyond the technical post, because
Yeah, I mean, the
it
technical post just spins.
it gets its bearing by friction. So over time, that load could easily settle and push them down.
Right.
If it's clay, especially if it's clay.
If it's clay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But like I said, according to the soil maps, there's no clay there, and they hit clay like it was loose gravel on top of clay, soft clay, so.
And all the way down 47 feet. What they're calling clay could be dead sand. I didn't, you know, if you saw the sample, you know what I mean? Dead sand from,
That would all be in the report that we're waiting.
yeah. Why don't you tell him to get the report first?
Okay,
Tell him to get his report
Oh.
first on what they did, and then you can see from there what they think they have to do.
okay.
I guess I don't, even not fully understanding all the little nuances of what, I can grasp the broad topic, but I just don't know exactly what they would do. They know that they've hit clay in those first samples down to a depth of at least 47 feet. So I guess I don't know what else they would gain from two other undisturbed samples that would be so much different and provide so much extra context to be able to either stabilize or,
Right.
like if that structure didn't exist, so if we just demoed that rear structure and were to put up a new structure, what if we made that decision without doing the geotechnical study and just said, we're gonna demo the back of this building and build new? How would they be treating new construction? Because right now, they're just trying to stabilize a building that isn't necessarily the best footprint anyway, and if we might stay there, what if we do the demo? Like, that's not even a question we've asked them, but, and how would they?
It's hard for them to get with the augered material coming up, they can compact it, but they're not getting the exact what's down there, because they could over compact it, you know, because
Yeah.
they don't know, so
But-
that's why they want, I'm just,
But if we had never done the geotechnical route, so
Oh,
if we
yeah,
were
yeah.
building a new addition on that building, we
Yeah.
wouldn't have gone into a geotechnical study in
no.
general.
No.
So, are we going down a path that could just become more and more costly in a geotechnical study to stabilize a structure that's not ideal, rather than saying, should we be looking at a possible, doing that, getting rid of that back section and building new, and then the engineering is done for new footings on a new addition that can meet their requirements, rather than building a new building? I don't know, I'm just throwing that out there as an alternative.
Well, you would, even if you did what you wanna do, that information is gonna be used for that.
Okay,
At some point, we're gonna make a decision, do you want, they come back and say, we want you to drive 100-foot pile down there. To get what they need, you know.
Right.
They could say that, or they could say, we want a 6-foot wide footing. You know, they could spread the footing out to take the load, knowing what the material is, the bearing is.
And
But I think Hill should have known,
before this was done, right?
Regardless of what the material is, that's what you were looking for. You were looking for
What we need to do is.
what you need to do there, and we agreed to do that. I can't believe they didn't, I can't believe while they were there, they didn't do it.
So it's a totally different rig, is what he told me, for testing clay.
It's
And like,
a tube pushed down and pulls up.
He even said, I'm the mechanic, I'm not. the
Yeah,
technical, so
you mean
I-
Hill.
Right.
Yeah.
I can reach out to Josh Turner Consulting. And maybe
Well, let's see what
with
the
the
samples
report
come
and
first,
then-
and then maybe we can negotiate with them to split the cost or something, say, hey, you guys should have advised us, we hired you to advise us, and you knew what we were looking for.
So see the initial samples and then make a determination on this additional.
Yeah, let them get the report on that.
Yep.
There's a possibility that could give them enough information.
Yeah. Are you all comfortable with that?
So what are the potential outcomes? If we spend money on this or any other test they suggest, then what? Then they're gonna suggest another test, or, you know,
They're gonna,
where's this
they're
going?
supposed to do a design
Right,
to support that.
right.
Yeah, I'm fine with waiting for the test results, but I think we should be prepared to spend the $6 grand
Yeah.
having this done.
Mhm.
It's just.
I don't think we're at that point where you gotta know, I mean.
Right,
No, we have- we do
that's what
have-
I mean.
Even if we did decide to tear down that section and rebuild,
This information is gonna be used.
You
for
gotta have that
so
anyway.
You gotta, we're gonna have to do it.
Yeah.
if not, we'd be in the same boat, you know.
But let's just make sure that, like
Yeah.
you said, what does the
Yeah.
report from the.
Yeah,
hearing
see if
say
he's got enough
before we-
information.
Now, in that section, is anything involving that floor asbestos, is it asbestos mastic?
No.
It's not, so all, there's nothing hazardous, there's no hazardous materials in that section at all, so that's good too.
Nope.
Not
Yeah, 'cause
unless
there
it's
was
in
the
the
same
ground
things are
already.
buried.
Right, yeah,
Yeah, it was still a story.
yeah.
They said a couple headlights came up or something,
Couple what?
Headlights.
Headlights?
but it was nothing, they weren't like drilling through a car or
Yeah.
anything.
Mhm. Okay. Thank you. And then the Hutchinson water leak and road repair. Thanks for sending those photos.
Yes.
Yep.
So July 23rd was when this occurred. I got the phone call from a resident up there stating there's water bubbling out of the road. So I contacted the operator for Hutchinson Water and met him there. After seeing it and knowing that they don't have many isolation valves at all up there, I contacted emergency management director to just, worst case scenario, make sure we got drinking water we can hand out, because I was certain the whole system was gonna be shut down, because it looked horrible. But they had a contractor come in, we fixed it, it turned out to be a 1-inch service line, plastic. While we were excavating, I noticed the voids in the road. One of the trucks that was about 20 feet down, fully loaded, actually sunk about 6 inches as we were sitting there. So I had that contractor come back the following morning. I shut that portion of the road down. I had the contractor come back the following morning. We did 4 test pits, just square cut the road and pulled up to see how much of a void is underneath it. And you'll see the pictures I sent you. So it ranges at the top end about 8 inches, and it goes down, and it kind of spreads as it goes further down the hill. The last one, there was no activity on that one, so it's within those 2 driveways. Really bad on that one traveling lane, so I shut down, it's still shut down that one traveling lane. I was gonna talk to Steve from LB, since his equipment will be here, about what he could do for us as far as the price, and I contacted Condrens. I'm getting a price from them to fix it. And I was gonna contact one more. Condrens said 11.5 to pull the road, put some new material in it, compact it to 95%, and then repave it. And that would be a straight line, both travel lanes at 70 feet. So that's where I'm at with that.
And
It was heartbreaking to see that.
Were we gonna bill them?
Hmm?
Were we gonna bill them?
Yes.
He's okay?
Yes.
He's okay?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, no, that's their
I
responsibility.
think,
That's our new road.
right. You know, I just give them heads up. I said, I'm not the one that does that billing, but I
Well,
would
no, he should
expect
be,
that.
before we spend any money, he should understand who he's gonna pick up the bill for our road that was caused by his,
I mean, we took the pipe out and you go like that. across
Yeah.
the road. So, and it's everywhere.
that's translated, right?
No, these are plastic lines.
Not
Well,
the-
there's a lot of transit.
The main,
like mains are,
yeah.
There's, it's ductile in some spots, it's transit.
Whatever goes in the yard.
So I will be seeing Steve when the paving project continues with his part of it, and then I was gonna grab him and go up there and take a look at it.
All right.
For clarification of the water minutes, when you say bill someone, are you speaking of the water operator for the Hutchinson's development area, Ron?
Yeah,
Okay.
the owner of the water,
Okay,
is,
sorry, I just wanted clarification.
And that was Wilshire Drive, right?
Correct.
Yep. Okay, any questions on that? All right, so then, the paving project updates for Fred Mason Road, Church Street, Main Street, Flaherty Road, and Reservoir Road.
All the structures were finished raised today and cemented in. He's got a couple water gates to do tomorrow. Berkshire Gas has 2 gas gates to do down near Flaherty Road. And this project will be done, ready for paving. Doubt this week, but I'm hoping beginning of next week they start that. So he'll be doing the water gates tomorrow, and then moving down to Reservoir, where we have 2 structures on that need to be raised, and 1 structure on Fred Mason at the bottom of Outlook that needs to be raised, and then that will be, so tomorrow, PR will be done with raising all the structures and cementing them in. So we'll be ready after tomorrow for paving. It all depends on LV.
What about Berkshire Gas, when are they doing theirs?
Timmy Garner got the number of the gas company representative that stopped during our project today and asked when we were gonna pave. I had to get his number so I could contact him to make sure that, he said as long as it's next week, I'll have it definitely done, but if it's before that, just give me a heads up.
It's snug between,
It is.
obviously, some of those barrels and
It would,
The north
they're
side of
not
the road.
in the center.
they're not in the center. and-
So they're, and we have to put 3 sources, 2 barrels or cones, and kind of, those barrels there'll be 1 barrel sitting on top of the structure tomorrow until it gets paved, so it'll be compressed a little bit, because all of those were cemented today.
Mhm.
So it'll be better tomorrow, but I know I see a couple mailboxes were nicked.
Yeah, no, and so we would have to replace those as the town.
I have no problem,
Yeah.
it comes with territory.
um, Hopefully we don't get any flat tires, because it's also, it's so snug to the north side that, and then there's, raised structures right up against that curbing as well, so.
Is another with paving, I talked to Jen, and I'm asking to the next agenda, put crack seal on that agenda. And then, I got a quote that we can base our initial bid process off of, so. And then, I did talk about next year, all depending on the guardrail situation at the bottom of West Mountain, I wanna do chapter 90 up to the new bridge project. But I did contact Kinder Morgan, because I don't want any surprises, because the pipeline does cross West Mountain Road. I will conditions, anything, restrictions that they have. I'm glad I did. It's a huge process, so something I want to get. So if you see Kinder Morgan with me out on, that's one.
All right, so then, the adoption of the chapter 90, section 17C, reduced speed limit signage update. I put this on the agenda because there was a conversation that I had seeing a little bit of online, and people on social media were wondering what happened to the speed limit signs. And also, I had just came back from a trip, and everywhere that I went in New Hampshire and Maine, they had a lot of the speed limit signs that had to show what the speed limit is, but rather than, as soon as you went 1 mile an hour over that speed limit, it just said slow down. Not like the one on 116 that says what your speed is, which is
right.
kind of a little meaningless, but when all of a sudden you see slow down immediately, then it just seemed like everybody seemed to be slowing down, and I think,
The one on 116 is like a radar race.
Yeah.
People tend to, especially the young ones.
oh, really? But, you know, so maybe that would be something to consider, but you can fill us in on where we're at with the signage.
So we are all set with the state as far as they're concerned with changing these to 25. The signs have been ordered. We should see them within the next week and a half, 2 weeks from MassCore, and we'll start installing. A total of 23 streets. Some of them, you know, don't need 2 of them, the dead ends and stuff like that.
Could you look into the pricing for signs like what I was just talking about?
I didn't, but I will.
What, yeah,
Those are all solar.
they're what?
Solar.
Solar, yeah.
I know the state comes out with grants, for that kind of stuff, so I'll look into those.
You know, especially for, I was thinking like Church Street,
The higher
Main
traffic
Street,
ones.
yeah, Fred Mason Road, the roads that we've just repaved, but Wells Road,
So
Wells Road
Lanesboro
just got a
Road.
brand new speed trailer.
they got a trailer that
Yeah.
has to be there a certain amount of time. It's not out yet, it's still down the highway garage because there's a class that the police have to go through with part of that grant. So it'll have to be on Wells Road for a certain amount of time, and then we can use it wherever we want.
It's just gathering information, right?
Yeah,
When you
this,
first put it out, it's
this
just
goes straight to,
counting cars and speeds.
they have to download it onto the cruiser and it goes straight to the state, so.
Right, okay.
But today, with those structures on Main Street, it was just too dangerous with the cars, so we did reroute traffic down Flaherty and East Main. I know Flaherty is one of the streets that are 25. I couldn't imagine going 25 down that street. I went 15, it was perfect, but I don't, do you wanna post it 25?
So that was one of my concerns in general when we
Like some of
originally did
these,
this.
Like Woodland, I mean, good luck going 25 down
Yeah, but even on, like, Dean Street, Depot Street, all these streets, 25 is, I mean, maybe less Depot Street, but a lot of those small streets, even Richmond Street, School Street, when you're hitting 25, you're going too
there. Oh, I
fast.
know.
So posting it at that kind of encourages faster driving too.
Allowable, yeah.
Any thoughts from? They're not posted right now.
No.
But you can't enforce it if it's not, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
You have to have enough.
No, I think you can, because there's,
Well, residential
right,
is a speed limit, but that's not as low as you are talking, below 25. Even business
Yeah.
districts, I think, is 25. I don't think there's an area that is a lower speed than 25 unless it's posted.
right. And you have to apply for a reduction below 25.
Right.
But all of those streets were 30 until we passed
Right.
that adopted that general law, so. I mean, I suppose you could do it at the intersection, like where you can turn off of Church Street onto School or onto Depot from Church Street.
Okay.
All right, anything else on that topic? The community house heating system update.
So, I met with, Ty and Bond. Gas company came back and said they will not upsize any existing services in the near future. So, this line will not feed 2 units like we wanted it to. So we approached them back and asked for, if we were to put that section, the youth center section, on a 1,000 gallon propane, convert the gas water heater over here to electric or heat pump, and then this line would strictly feed this side of the building. We're just waiting on that, for their okay on that. And then we should be closer to getting a final price.
Any questions from the board?
1,000 gallon tank buried or surface?
Surface. It would,
And those units can be converted back if you had to.
absolutely.
Yeah, because
it's
this
just an
moratorium
orifice.
on this gas is just, we're trying to prove a point with the state
And it,
to get that new one.
that would be their,
From-
that it would isolate their service,
Yeah, yeah.
keep it as warm as you want.
All right. So I think that was,
You can shop propane.
Was there an update on the bridge project?
oh yeah.
Bridge project is going great. Everybody's got the pictures of
Yep.
it. Traffic is fine. Couple hiccups, the on and off ramps of the branch of the bridge. There's 2 residents that have RVs and campers. The tongues are scraping a little bit. Well, I've offered, they can park it at the highway garage near the cameras. If it becomes a problem, I don't want them, I explained to them that I can't just mess with a bridge. I contacted the engineers to see if maybe we could just trough out that center a little bit so that tongue wouldn't hit. I haven't heard back from them, but I was gonna call back tomorrow. So, other than that, we can't extend it either way. One would go into the residence driveway, and the other way would totally cover a waterway. So it's kind of, they did shift it off to the south side of the road in hopes that there's enough room on the north side, so once that is built, we put down a binder, get rid of the bridge earlier. That's our hopes, depending on the amount of room we have left once that's complete.
What's the current timeline as far, before accelerating because of that, but what's the timeline for the project itself?
It was
Fine.
supposed to be the end of October.
No, November 1st, they were hoping to be out of there.
Okay, and there's no reason to think, that that'll be
I
extended?
mean, we started a little later than because of the utility poles, but it was a couple weeks.
Okay.
I do not want to plow that bridge, so I'm hoping,
Hoping for a late winter.
yeah,
Yeah.
for an early project completion.
Yes, and the late winter. Anything else from the board? No. All right, thank you. So we'll go back up the agenda to the fire department boat update. I know Jen included the initial email from the fire chief regarding the boat, and then just tonight before the meeting, they received an estimate from Brothers Boat Works on East Street in Pittsfield for a new motor. And I was given this before the meeting, so it was $8,580.83. I can pass this.
What size boat is it?
Can we get them a couple oars?
I It's 50, yeah.
Adequate?
Yeah.
So, the fire chief plans to use his department budget to fund that. So, we just wanna move forward and,
I think they should buy new and stop screwing with trying to get that thing repaired.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be an issue forever.
No,
Yes.
Right.
that's,
Yeah, and the boat was an asset to us and important for
Yeah.
rescue, so,
not cheap anymore in this world.
no,
No.
just hand that to Scott. I didn't get a timeline though on that coming in and then being installed, but I'm sure we'll get an update soon, but that literally just showed up right before I left the house. All right, any comments or questions from the board? So the next is electric bicycles, scooters, mopeds, and skateboards, safety and discussion. So there've been several comments also online that I've seen lately, but also just witnessing numerous electric bicycles on Church Street especially. I mean, it's something that I see on a routine basis. But they're routinely either keeping pace or exceeding the speed of the cars while they're on the sidewalk. And, you know, the other night, there was one that was exceeding the speed of the cars, so they're doing 35, 40 miles an hour on the sidewalk, probably, because cars are usually doing about 30, 35 on Church Street. And they're routinely going off of the sidewalk and then onto the roadway and crossing back onto the sidewalk randomly. And then after a select board meeting last month, I was almost hit by one when I was going home and crossing, and it was in line, in the travel lane, right behind the vehicle, going speed of the vehicle. And as I was crossing out of the mouth of the driveway, he decided at that moment to come in and onto the sidewalk, and he was keeping pace with traffic, and then came, and his handlebar came within a foot of my abdomen. So I think we're in this situation where I know that the interim chief had emailed me separately saying that there hadn't been any issues, but there was also a crash of one on church and town property here at the corner last week. I don't know if it was on the camera, but I don't think they ended up leaving, and a parent of another, probably a youth center parent, helped the child up. But they're routinely going through private property as well, so they've been cutting through this property routinely as well, and almost keeping that same speed and cutting through the parking lot. So I think it's just a matter of time before somebody gets hurt, and so education is a piece of it, but I know other communities are adopting their own regulations and enforcement within their bylaws. So I didn't know if it was something that we would eventually want the planning board to work on, something to put in our bylaws, or just to wait, because I know, like Jen, you shared that Goodell just went through a training.
Yep, he
And-
participated in a 3-day training centered around bicycles and that, and he was told that they're working on revising all of those laws. Right now, the state is.
And I think that's a good practice.
Yeah,
It's getting insane.
it is,
And
and
it isn't
everywhere.
just the electric bikes, there's a different style that you're talking that does 30, 35 miles an hour. And the kids are just out of control. And the fact that you have the rail trail coming through, which access people from coming up from Pittsfield at high speeds, we have to set up guidelines.
Yeah,
And we can model it off some of the other towns to see how strict they are. And as we go forward with a full-time, larger police department, the enforcement will be easier to control.
Mhm.
Right now, we
It
just don't
wouldn't
have
be
the
a
man-
zoning bylaw, so it wouldn't be the planning board that worked on that, it would be a general bylaw.
General.
Right,
Oh,
right.
So
that's
that would
true.
be something
I
that
mean,
the town
I
would
think
work on.
DCR should have the rules in place for the entire rail trail. There
Yes.
shouldn't be differences.
State's doing some.
The state should be doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
and they are.
I think the only,
There's
the only thing I would
speed
look at is, they shouldn't be on the sidewalk.
No, and that's already prohibited anyway.
That's what I
And
thought.
And I think the hard part is some of these kids that are riding them are really little, and they're too young to truly understand. Obviously, we're not gonna fix that, that's a parent's issue, really, but I see some of these kids, they're elementary school age children, and they're riding these bikes, that are keeping pace with cars, we want them on, the bikes on the road, but we really don't want the kids on the road, because they really, especially, like last night, there was probably 8 or 9 of them, and they were zigging and zagging up in the middle of Church Street through all of the raised structures. And then they were hanging out on the bikes in the middle of the road, and it's already confusing enough for traffic going through these raised structures to not have these kids zipping around, and so it is an enforcement thing, but we also, this is another problem that I've seen. So we only have police coverage right now during the day, and I really think that we should be looking at, especially when we only have one officer, at least shifting that schedule to hit some of those evening hours when the kids are out of their daytime programs and they're out on the streets, because that's where I've noticed the greatest amount of activity, and it's getting dark earlier, and these kids were out at dusk last night, and I'm really just concerned that somebody's gonna get hurt. So maybe looking at, talking to the interim chief and just seeing if the schedule can be shifted so there could be some change in coverage as well.
But it's also a parent's responsibility.
It is.
To teach your children how to be responsible. And the bad line is, when you push that too hard, parents will say, but they're just kids. Well,
Yeah,
come on, you gotta teach them, you gotta tell them that you have responsibilities regardless of your age. Think of others besides yourself.
Throw them in the back of the cruiser.
That's
bring them home, yeah,
Confiscate their
Oh,
bike,
yeah.
whatever, for
Yeah.
a month, right? Yeah,
yeah.
gotta be tough.
But somebody actually on a social media channel in Adams had posted the other day, like, lay off these kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought
Yeah.
if they're capable of going over 20, I thought they had to be registered
Correct, yes.
as a, like a motorcycle.
But nobody's doing that, and so there's another one
Lock
that,
'em up.
yeah. I know firsthand though, of one it has the pedals and everything, and it has a speedometer on it, and it goes to 45. So, I mean, so they're out there, they're flying.
Over 750 miles, when they go over 20 miles an hour, they're treated as a motorcycle.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
He's got a couple.
you need like
I gotta see.
the motorcycle driver's license.
Mhm.
It's a motorcycle.
So that's where it turns into the enforcement issue for the police department, but. So I guess we'll,
Could look at bylaws. There's gotta be another community
Yeah.
that already came up with to
Yeah.
invent our own.
And it might make
My
sense
only
to wait
concern
until
is
the
them
state
driving
laws
on the
change
sidewalk.
too.
yeah,
Right.
Outside of that,
yeah, in the meantime, that can be enforced, is that what you just said?
yeah,
Yeah.
because that's the biggest risk,
Mhm.
biggest exposure.
And also the education piece, so if, while our officer is on patrol and sees the kids out, just letting them know about properly crossing the street, not zigging in and out between cars and,
How do you catch 'em?
driveways.
How do you catch them and tell them?
Yeah, I know.
You're over 35 miles.
Yeah, right. High speed pursuit, we don't want pursuits, no. So I just wanted to bring it up because it is something that I'm seeing as an issue, and
It's becoming a problem all.
we'll wait till new laws come out and we'll discuss it again.
Yeah.
All right, so the next two, go hand in hand. So there's a code of conduct for elected and appointed officials, but also another item that I added, and, so it's, I'm gonna tie them both together. So the second is professionalism of town employees and department heads. So, since becoming chair, I've received numerous reports from town hall employees, department heads, and residents. that's just led me to be really concerned about professionalism, boundaries, confidentiality, conflicts and relationships among our town hall employees, staff, and department heads. So I've had several discussions with town council, and we both feel it's time to address these issues, and council suggested that this go on to an agenda. She suggested the language for the agenda posting. And so many of the issues align with sections of the Code of Conduct policy that is in our packets to review tonight, and some are not. Town council has offered to either conduct a training or refer us to programs that might be available for staff to attend together. So, you know, rather than going into specifics regarding some of the incidents that have been brought to my attention, and I don't know, and to others, and they have as well. You know, she felt like it was important that the behavior and dynamics improve within the town hall, especially, but also through department heads, and communication to members of the public has been of a concern too. Just information that's been getting out is concerning. So the code of conduct is a step in the right direction, but town council definitely urged us to consider training and wanted the board to discuss that tonight. And then it was also, she also felt it was important for our boards and committees and staff to take advantage of routine training opportunities that are available on public records requests, open meeting law, etc. So there was multiple facets to these discussions that I had with council, but and like I said, she did say she'd be willing to come in and have a training at least, or bring somebody else in, a consultant, to come in and meet with staff, department heads, boards and committee members that are available, and just help guide everybody back into a record, you know, into the right path, because she's just said that it's getting sloppy, and she just felt like we really need to figure it out.
Would it be
Or-
mandatory?
I think it should be.
Well, I
I
do
didn't ask
too.
her that question specifically, but I can,
I do too.
Well, as far as, well, this is pretty boilerplate, right? This
Yeah,
is
that
just off
comes
of
directly
MIA.
from Maya, and I
Yeah.
also have a full
I got it right here.
Yeah.
printout of all of Maya's training opportunities. They have a lot, and every time a staff member attends one of these, we actually get points
Well,
that.
that's where I was going, is that
Yes.
I would prefer to see just, because we've talked about training needs all the time. It's come up several times, different purposes I'd like to just see a packet of what are our mandatory training and develop that for everyone.
I also think it's really great that we all have professional organizations. Like I have STAM for small town administrators. I know the finance office has collectors and treasurers, and Whitney has the town clerk association, and you know, there's associations for everybody. And I'm hopeful that, I know that a few department heads and staff here in town hall are really good about getting to those trainings, but I think that we need to put a push to get everybody to those trainings, because they're super helpful, especially with like this public records thing.
Yeah, but
open
I'd like
meeting law.
I think you've got
I have
something
this,
there, but a
yes.
catalog of what's out
Yep.
there and available, and what would we want everyone to do?
Yeah, great. And I will get this to every one of you.
And then, come up with a list of what are
It
the
would
things that
basically
are
just be
lacking.
an online thing, just
Most
link
of them
on
are.
and do a YouTube kind of video. Yeah.
Most of them are online, but they also do send instructors out for some of them as well. I know that like the highway department participates quite often in some of these trainings. They do like the chainsaw training and that type of stuff, where they actually bring somebody in to do it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's some really good ones in here. It's not just, based around highway stuff. I will get this out to everybody, but I would also like to do, several months ago, I talked about a Citizens Academy, where we can reach out to the community and say, if you need a dog license, you go to the town clerk. If you need to pay your tax bill, you go to the collector's office. And I was thinking about putting something in the Cheshire Chatter this next time too, just kind of pointing everybody into the right direction, so people are going to the right department to get the right information. But some communities do coffee hour, and they have a little coffee thing, and you come and you talk, and I think that that would be helpful as well.
So some of it, what I'm talking about is an interpersonal dynamics among staff within town hall, and I think, and with department heads. So I think that, council's genuine belief was that it would be important to get everybody in the same room at the same time, and everybody goes through the same training simultaneously. So I think that supplementing some of it, there's trainings of opportunities that are available that are just part of progressive development, I guess, as an employee, but other parts of it are just the nuances of the dynamics that have developed within the confines of a sometimes challenging work environment, where there's also, there's boards and committees, there's a variety of boards and committees, elected officials, just like the code of conduct addresses elected officials are dealing with appointed officials. I know it's cumbersome, especially at times, the Board of Selectmen meets bi-weekly. There's decisions that have to be made between meetings, and so sometimes there's, kind of just a desire to fast track a process that's governed by law and has restrictions that can be unpleasant at times. So I think, kind of blending, encouraging training, but is my take, but I also following what council's recommendation was and having an in-person session would be important. Are you all?
Well, my observations, I think within the town, we work well. We don't have those extreme situations, but I'm sure we've all seen online certain communities, not necessarily around here though, where I'm embarrassed from what I've seen. The foul language, the way individuals teach each other, treat each other, it's horrible. I don't think we've reached that though, but I think this is a good start to control some of the mannerisms of people.
Yeah, no, I think.
Elected or appointed,
Right.
it's horrible at times.
Yeah, it can be, so, and just to bring everybody closer together, I think would be
Yeah.
important, but.
Yeah.
So are you all okay with me, just staying in contact with Donna to move forward and seeing what the options are for an in-person session, and then Ron, you seem to be contemplating this.
Is that the right person?
No, and
That's my point, is if you're gonna do it with the right people.
right. So, and that was
Yeah.
another question,
I
like,
just-
we
yeah,
have.
I'm all for it, just I wanna make sure you use the right person, and I'm not.
Yeah, so I think, we've used special counsel for HR-related things, we could ask them for guidance as well.
Yeah, I don't think it has to be
I think that
a
you'll
lawyer.
find some stuff in
Yeah.
this.
It doesn't have to be a that caliber
Yeah.
lawyer,
Maya
there's
has
people
some
that do this stuff all the time.
trainings, and they would do.
They would come out.
in-house
Mhm.
There are
to
companies
that
that
line,
provide that.
potentially.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Those
I think even
it doesn't cost us a single thing.
Okay.
So I think, do you have that in a digital form? That's just all on their website?
I will get that to everybody.
Okay.
Yes. Ultra gala.
Yeah, and I've been, I've done reviewed a couple of their trainings even that are available online, but having them come out would be really
Well, it's
helpful.
always good to have a specific time and date for everybody, like you said,
Mhm.
so everybody's hearing it the same way.
Yeah, yes. And having the opportunity to ask
Ask
questions
yeah.
together, and so everybody can hear the answers together. I do think, based on some of the feedback that I've gotten, that there's things that have to flow through me, and I have to, I think we need council involvement in some capacity.
Yeah, I
And-
understand that, it's just, you don't need to use a lawyer for that kind of stuff, it's a little high price to use a lawyer for that.
For a training. Yeah, no, I'm fine with that,
Yeah,
but as far as.
legal advice is one thing.
Yeah.
But
So, anyway, so we'll just get together some more information and then kind of come back with some suggestions.
Yeah, I think when we all get to review that list of trainings, maybe we can figure out what we think is, and maybe they can suggest what other communities do, what they do in person, what they do online.
Yep,
I think the Mass Association for Selectmen has it too.
yeah, yeah. Any thoughts, though, going back to the code of conduct document? and how you would like to proceed with that. Maybe create a draft, kind of more specific to our town, and
I think it would just be minor edits.
like even, the way that I felt like a lot more of it was geared toward a town manager. Did you feel that too, Jen?
That's what I mean by minor edits,
Yeah.
I mean, you
Yeah.
just take manager off, because a lot of places it says town administrator / manager.
Right, but I felt like some of the role of the town administrator versus town manager was closer to the town manager role in terms of managing conflict versus a town administrator's role managing conflict. I could be wrong on that, and I wanted to be able to discuss that as a board.
What's the difference?
A town manager has more authority to discipline,
Different skill set.
well, it's just a different role in general, a different level of responsibility and permissions. It's
And
not the
there is
same.
language in here about must comply with the town's,
Yeah.
this policy,
Right.
that policy. We have to have those policies. I mean, we probably do, but
Yeah,
we gotta make sure that.
they're all
we
like
don't-
part of the
we
same
don't say we
packet.
have to follow this and we don't have it. Right, we have to have it.
Mhm.
Yeah, but other than that, it looks good.
Yeah, I'll just edit it, put it into different format and give it to you again.
Okay,
Sounds good.
anything else on those items? Alright, so moving on,
Yeah.
youth central lease analysis, Jen?
Within your packet, you have a proposal from Mr. Wilkinson in North Adams for an appraisal. If the board agrees, I will contact him tomorrow, and he will be setting up an on-site visit immediately. I believe within the contract, it says he'll be able to turn it around within 2 to 3 weeks. He has done work like this in the past.
Is there, I wasn't planning on spending any money on
Either were I, and
Yeah.
that's a lot of money, was it 2,200, 2,200?
2250.
And,
2200.
and I think the final analysis is gonna be that we,
Not a whole lot.
No, I just wasn't expecting to spend any personally, but,
Oh, but
yeah, but,
it's nice to have an independent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives
Yeah.
credibility to
That's
whatever
what I'm saying,
rate we
yeah, I
end
mean,
up using, so I
it's
think it's
worth
worth
the
the
money to-
2,200.
right,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think the final analysis is gonna be that we grossly undercharge.
Oh, it probably will be, but at least we
Right,
can
right, but
point
I
it
mean, there's
out.
gonna be a number, but
You
that
gotta pay.
number
Yeah.
could create a situation where you're gonna have parents coming in here
You're gonna
again
have
and
to
saying,
defend it
oh my
somehow."
God, right, you gotta defend it, and is it worth spending that kind of money when it's gonna be a huge figure that we're gonna have to greatly reduce anyhow?
But at
Well,
least it's a baseline to make adjustments to.
Right, but Sonia's gonna come in with her analysis too. I think she thought she was gonna hire somebody too, so I don't know.
oh no, I think that they are having an analysis done, and I
Yeah.
think that this would give us an opportunity to have just a
Yeah, we've been
comparison between
We've
two.
been guessing at this thing this
Yeah.
way here.
Yeah.
Right.
I support it, I just wasn't originally planning on spending money.
Yeah,
My
I
question
mean,
is,
$600 I would've gone for, but we're talking.
is this gonna answer all the questions that we want answered? Are we gonna make sure
We'll
we
save,
have, so we don't end up with, now we have to go get a core sample? To just, we just talk, you know what I mean? 'Cause
Yeah.
all those things have been done,
Right.
now we have to pay for another test.
So, and this doesn't specifically say exactly what he's gonna be looking at, right, Jen, but, did he originally discuss the specific scope with you?
He's gonna be doing a full lease analysis. He has worked for Head Start in the past, so he's familiar with centers like the youth center.
Okay,
Yeah, so he's gonna come out here, he's gonna do a full walkthrough, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna look at various different options, including, how much the expenses are for the building. We're gonna,
How
Do the
about
whole
the
thing.
dividing up of the utilities, because we don't know where that's gonna land yet.
yeah, we'll go through all of, everything we possibly
That's
can. I
probably a
have
question,
folder.
because if he comes up with one number and then they say, well, now we have to pay our own propane, we have to pay, that changes things.
Yeah, I think the analysis should be current state, and then what would future state look like, and what that impact would have on the rate.
Right.
Is there someone from the board that would want to sit in on those meetings, just because there's so much riding on this decision? That would be probably obviously available during the day, but,
I can do it. I'm available, so.
okay.
Yeah, I'm not available
Yeah.
during the day.
Yeah,
I don't either.
I have the flexibility for that.
I'll
So
let
then
you
there's-
know.
Huh?
I'll let you know
Oh, no,
tomorrow,
that's
he's
fine.
coming.
Well, we gotta approve it first, so is there a motion from the board?
I move that we approve or accept the proposal as presented.
I second that. Is there any discussion? All right, Ron,
Yes.
Ray,
I oppose, I just don't wanna spend the money.
okay. Sean,
Yes.
Scott, and I'm yes. All right, so then,
Is that a
You're right.
tenth of a percent of the balance?
okay, so the transfer station temporary position hiring process. Guys, have we gotten any applications?
No,
Okay.
that is posted on the website, it's posted through Berkshire Hire as well.
Okay,
So nothing to discuss.
yeah, but I guess we could discuss though, because if we can set maybe a board member that would be involved in the interview process tonight, then if we get applications in between now and the next meeting and we wanna move forward, Jen, there's a few that come in after articles and videos go up online. Is there anybody from the board that would like to be involved?
During the day,
Huh?
during the day,
Likely during the day.
Yeah, likely during the day.
I can make that work,
Okay.
in case Ron's busy.
No, that's fine.
We'll coordinate around you.
Okay.
All right, sounds good. Is everybody on the board okay with that?
Yep.
Great, thank you.
Oh dear.
Anything else on that topic? All right, FY26 line item transfers.
Within your packet, the accountants prepared this year's line item transfers, they have been approved by the finance committee. So on the top section of your list, you have where it's being transferred from, on the bottom section is where it's being transferred to. The biggest deficit this past year was snow and ice removal at $41,000, so we had a more difficult winter than we have in many, many years, so that's why that number was so high. There is a way to put it on the tax rate recap, but we felt that we did have the money within the highway budget, so it just made sense to transfer the money and clean it up.
What was the cemetery maintenance and expenses that needed to be funded?
That is something that I'm still working on the accountants with, that had to do with perpetual care.
Yeah, I thought everything came out of perpetual care, so I was
Yeah,
confused as to
we're
why we.
working on cleaning that and figuring that one out. But it's there just in case.
And what was the increase in the veterans' benefits?
That is every month, we get that list from the state of the veterans that are due money, and it's just every
There just
year.
happened to be some more veterans in
Yes,
town or
yep.
something,
Yep,
that it came in over budget?
exactly.
Okay.
It's one of those things that's hard to estimate at the beginning of the year.
That's pretty reasonable compared to some of the other years.
Absolutely. Well, we upped it last year,
Yeah.
so it helped.
Any other questions about the specifics for the transfers? All right, is there a motion from the board?
Make a motion to accept the transfers?
Second,
Any discussion? Ron?
Yes.
Ray?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
And yes. So then we have the Cheshire Rod and Gun Club one-day liquor licenses for August 15th and August 22nd.
Yes.
I make the motion to,
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Ron?
Yes.
Ray?
yes.
Sean?
Abstain.
Scott?
Yes.
And I'm yes. So then the Two Sister Mobile Spirits Bar one-day liquor license, I will note that although they applied for August 8th, the rain day for that event is August 9th. And there's a high likelihood of storms on August 8th right now, so I don't know if, can we approve a contingency date? So I move to approve that one with a contingency date of August 9th in the event of rain.
Second. Okay.
Any discussion? Right,
Who did
Ron?
that second come from, I'm sorry?
Scott,
Yes.
Ray? Sean?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
And yes. All right, the police chief search update and next steps. So Sean, Jen and I met with Russ Stevens today and so there were 118 surveys that came back, which is, he was really impressed with the turnout for such a small community. And, you know, he said he's seen numbers, I think he said like half of that in communities much larger than ours. So, and, thank you for everyone really who participated and he thanks everyone too, because the feedback was helpful. There were no big surprises, people noted, and the survey results, I think you're still compiling them, Jen, to send out to everyone. But just in a quick glance, honesty and integrity, I think was the number one thing that people want to see in a new police chief. So not a surprise, but, and then there was just random feedback about speeding on certain roads and various other details that will get released to everyone on the select board soon. But there were 7 candidates originally in the process. 1 withdrew, 2 were not included in the initial process because they didn't meet minimum qualifications for the job posting. 4 advanced to the written assessment, and 2 will advance to the assessment center, which is coming up next. So anyway, so that process is moving forward, and so the assessment date, the assessment center date is August 17th, and that will happen here at the community house during the day, and we'll be notified after that. Was there anything else that you can remember that you wanted us to add? So, and they will be the only people involved in that process. I did have, it was one person that really came, but said that he had heard from other people too, that he was hoping that still we would continue with the no town involvement in the process. And so Russ Stevens did assure us today that it'll just be him and some other chiefs. So it's been a completely independent process that's been happening outside of the town, and that's been really beneficial, I think, at least from my perspective. And so those chiefs will move those last 2 candidates through the remainder of the program, and then we'll get resumes and other information after that, and set up the time for interviews. And the interviews would also take place, we would schedule a separate select board meeting date. So anticipate sometime after August 17th, we'll set a date for the interviews of those candidates. Any questions? All right. So then the meals excise tax revenue, I know Bob Tetlow had brought it up at the last meeting, he's not here tonight. Jen, I had actually pulled that DOR number too, and it was different than the one?
There was a $1,000 payment in 2025.
Right, the
It's
previous
been
year.
just over 5,000
Yeah,
total,
right,
Total so far?
yeah,
Yeah.
so,
which still seems light to me.
Yeah.
I know, it
So
does.
2,000 a quarter, if you say run rate, it's 8,000 a year,
Yeah,
that's like $1 million of sales combined, everyone. That just seems light to me.
yeah, it does.
But there's nothing we can,
that's why we're
there's
not
no.
gonna know until it's been,
Yeah,
other
They don't
towns,
show it, it's how they, each business is being charged, the state charges them above their percent, and they pay it, and then they split out that and send it to the town. I mean,
and not knowing what the number is, we estimated 5,000 revenue for FY '26, but we can't adjust that because we don't know
You
what
don't
we're
know,
looking at.
yeah.
And that's what all the other town administrators I've been talking to are saying is, don't adjust any of your numbers until you're in this program for a couple of years, so you
Yeah.
know what the numbers are gonna be.
yeah,
I mean, I looked at the average, Dunkin' Donuts has revenues of anywhere from 500,000 to $1 million in the state. So even if you say on the light side, being in the Berkshires, 500,000, that's that's just one entity.
Right.
So, I don't know, it just seemed light to me, but
Mm.
there's no way to really dig into it.
Yeah,
I
that's-
think the state really doesn't have a handle on all the businesses in the state, because some places show the taxes on it and some don't. In Pittsfield, like, some will show a separate tax for the local tax, and then other places don't. I'm not sure that,
Mhm. There's probably glitches in their software. So at least we know, and if Bob has the questions, we have the data. Any public comments? Peter?
I missed the thing on the fire department boat. What happened to the boat?
The motor, the motor stopped working, so they're going to purchase a new motor for $8,580.83 out of the fire department budget.
And it'll be back
Yes.
with a dock out, wherever.
Yeah, it'll be back, they'll just return to what they were just doing with the fire department boat, so.
Yeah.
And I just don't have a timeline, because this estimate just came in this evening, so. Any other public comment? Any other comments from the board or requests for future agenda items, other than crack ceiling? Anything else?
No.
All right, is there a motion to adjourn? Oh, the cruise night is coming up, sorry.
I missed
Au-
that.
Yeah, August 8th, obviously with the rain date of August 9th, 4 to 9, here at the community house.
So before you adjourn,
Yep, oh,
so I appreciate the coming on Wells Road. It was bad. Hey, and I just update on property on Swiss Stacks. Now you got a house right next to it that is
yeah, we
basically
can,
falling apart.
I mean, it's private property, and,
Mm.
but we can look into it and discuss it at a
Yeah,
future
but you
agenda.
sold it, right, town?
Yeah, so it's private property,
Did you
yes.
put a stipulation what has to be done in time frame?
No, it was sold,
No.
it's private property.
Because it's becoming, people are dumping up there.
Oh, okay. So we can look into that.
The Board of Health is looking into.
They
it,
are.
about sealing it up, have it sealed up.
Right.
There is plans for demolition
Yeah.
of that also
Okay.
in the near future.
Now, is the house, is,
That is not part of it, that is still,
right, but the door,
So Fred, we have to be careful, it's not on the agenda, we really can't discuss it. So we could discuss it at a future meeting, but we just have to be careful to not discuss a topic that isn't on tonight's agenda. So we can look into it and then discuss it at a later date.
Yeah, because the owner has to have the
Yeah.
ability to be here.
Yeah. So we have to be able to post it. Anything else? Any other requests for future agenda items? All right.
Yeah, I got one.
Oh,
Sign at the fire station, we need to decide and we get lots of companies, but we gotta decide on, do we want that same sign just the way it is? Do we wanna put it a different way? Do we wanna move it? Cause that's important before.
Yeah, I can't get accurate
get no
quotes if I
prices,
don't know what
yeah.
everybody wants.
Right.
yeah, so we can definitely put that on the next agenda.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And how it's gonna be funded.
Well, wait, we found, I don't know, did you get a chance to look at that one? No, that's fine. There's a company that doesn't sell them, they release them, they
Mhm.
rent them.
Oh, yeah.
And they take them every 7 years, they put a brand new upgrade, so we need to look into it, but I just saw it,
Oh,
I found it, but it might be the way to go. You just pay by the month, they maintain it, they install it.
So there's software upgrades probably along the way. But we'll
Software.
discuss that at the future agenda.
Yep,
Yeah.
put that on the agenda.
Anything else?
No, I'm good.
Michelle, as far as a public comment, I don't know if you guys wanna mention, I think a lot of people know, but there's a lot of bears in the area, they're large bears, there was a recent attack with a pig up
Oh,
on West Mountain
yes.
Road. I was driving the other day with my daughter, and it was crossing the bridge going behind the Cheshire Liquor Center in the middle of the day. The other day, we had a post up that there was some bears down by the bank. Just because it's summertime and children are out and about at dusk and during the day, maybe put something out or just warn people to be aware of it, because the kids, there's older kids that don't necessarily have adult supervision, and they might not know what to do if they encounter it.
Yeah,
But it was scary, because it was a big one that Jada and I saw, and then, I don't know if anybody saw the recent event on West Mountain Road with the pig. Catherine
Yeah.
LeBlanc is aware of it, and she said that the bear that did this is very, very large. So just a common courtesy to the people in the area, just to let them know, maybe if they don't, a post or
Yeah.
something maybe, just my own.
yep, a bear safety post, yeah, that's a good
I mean, with
idea.
their animals, people let their dogs out to go to the
Yep.
bathroom, you know.
Absolutely, thank you.
Mhm.
Anything else? All right, I move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.